to be one in the community in which he lives, Sheriff Arpaio, that is Maricopa County. He was reelected by an enormous margin. He's been a member of the 287G Justice Department program, giving him the authority to enforce immigration laws. His office has been investigated, not investigated, but reviewed by the folks who administer the program, and nothing found to be a problem.
As of yet. But as you said, we're in the middle of an investigation. We don't know where that investigation will go. Secondly, the prerequisites of not being guilty of doing a violation of civil rights is not if you were reelected. If that was the case, many people would have ducked civil rights violations just on the basis that they were reelected. I think the case is that there is substantial evidence. The chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, John Conyers, and others have also felt there's enough evidence to go forward and investigate. And I think that these issues have to be dealt with, independent of your position on immigration. You and I may not agree on immigration, but I don't think you agree that people based on color ought to be pulled over and automatically become a suspect.
I think we'd agree on the latter. You and I would even agree on immigration. It's where you and I disagree is on illegal immigration.
Well, I don't think so. I don't think we do.
Either. None of us.
You are against amnesty. I'm for sanity. So I think we're.
And you seem to think that the two are equivalents, and I don't.
No, I don't at all.
We believe. I mean, ACORN has a lot of members in Arizona, and this, as I say, this has been going on for 2 years, and folks are coming together more and more. And we believe that, first of all, the 287G program needs to be suspended. And Arpaio needs to resign or be removed right away.
Why?
He actually is
no
giving law enforcement folks who do the right thing a bad name. Let me just say this. The federal government's job is to protect our borders and to make sure that we have a sane immigration program.
How are they doing?
And so therefore, we cannot have people like Arpaio taking anything that he wants to do and profiling based on people's color. It's not right.
You conflated a number of things. One, that he is indeed racial profiling, which he denies, which, by the way, his department denies, and over a fifth of his department is Hispanic, by the way. The rest of that statement that's interesting is, I ask you, how is the federal government doing in enforcing border security and in enforcing U.S. immigration law? And what's ironic about that is that Janet Napolitano, the Secretary of Homeland Security, as governor of Arizona, was the first person to call for emergency action on the border in her state.
Well, again, we're confusing two issues. I think what National Action Network and NAACP board and others joined with ACORN today on was on the violation of civil rights. We're not talking about immigration policy one way or another on that issue. Arpaio and the misuse of 287G, we're saying there seems to be a pattern of civil rights violation. That's independent of what Napolitano is doing and anyone else. Secondly, I think that what becomes very important here is that to say that a fifth of his sheriff's department is Latino. You know, when we started making racial profiling a national issue, it was on the New Jersey Turnpike. A large percentage of their state troopers were Latino and black. But we were able to prove in court, the late Johnny Cochran and National Action Network, that they were in fact profiling. So one does not disprove the other.
Okay, and the point that I'm making with Janet Napolitano as governor, calling for emergency action in that state, goes to your call to get rid of 287G, because she, as governor of Arizona herself, was saying that there is a national emergency here, that we're not enforcing immigration law at the federal level, we're not securing our border, and that it is left to local law enforcement, and I'm talking about from Texas to California. And when you call for the elimination of 287G, that puts a cant, if you will, a bias in your very advocacy, because you are opposed to 287G no matter whether it would be properly administered or whether it were true that, as you allege, that it's racial profiling.
It's not being properly administered. There is no oversight. We believe that this experiment needs to end. We believe that Janet Napolitano and the Obama administration need to come up with a comprehensive way to deal with this. Arpaio and the way that he is going about doing this is not right, and that's what we're here to talk about. That's